Do you want to sound like a native English speaker? Well, the best thing you can do is study native speakers. So that's what we'll do today. You're going to study an email conversation between me and two girlfriends, and we schedule a dinner together. So let's do that now. Here's a picture of me with my two close friends. So you can put a face to the name. On the left, we have my friend Harminder, but she goes by the name Harm, and she's an engineer. And on the right, we have my friend Melissa. She has her PhD and she is doing a research fellowship. So these are my friends and we're scheduling a get together. Let's review the email. Melissa lives in a different city, so she sent Harm and I an email letting us know that she's coming to town and she wanted to schedule a get together. So let's review this email from Melissa. Hi, ladies. Hope you're both doing well. Spring is just around the corner now. This is a nice expression here. Spring is just around the corner. The expression is to be, so our verb to be, spring is just around the corner. Just is optional, but it is very commonly used. And this means happening soon or almost here. So it's just another way of saying spring is almost here. Spring is happening soon. You can use this expression in any situation. In a work context, you could say our annual reviews. Now notice I'm using are because reviews is plural. So we need to conjugate our verb to be. Our annual reviews are just around the corner, which means happening soon. Now notice, we don't put an S or make corner plural. We only conjugate our verb to be. Everything else remains the same. So if you think about any event, you could use this expression. My vacation is just around the corner. That could be a good one to use. All right, let's continue on. Spring is just around the corner now. Just wanted to give you a heads up. This is a great expression here. To give someone a heads up, let me write that out. To give someone a heads up. To give someone a heads up. This is when you give someone advanced knowledge or information on a specific topic. So knowledge, information on a specific topic. So in this case, a specific topic is that I'll be in Ottawa, where Harm and I live, in a few weeks. So the actual event is happening in a few weeks, 2-3 weeks. But she's letting us know now. So she's giving us the knowledge, the information in advance so we can plan ahead. So we can look in our calendars and make sure we're free. So you might say to your boss, just a heads up that our annual reviews, is that what I said? Annual reviews? Yeah. Just a heads up that our annual reviews are just around the corner. Just around the corner. Now, because I use just in the expression, I might get rid of it here, but it is common to use just a heads up. But you could just say heads up that our annual reviews are just around the corner. Heads up. Heads up. So I'm letting my boss know now so he can prepare for it. So very, very common expression. So she'll be in Ottawa in a few weeks. She gave us a heads up. I would love to see you if you aren't somewhere warm and tropical. This is a little joke because Canadians frequently go on vacation in the winter to a tropical place because it's so cold in Canada. So this is just a little joke. Okay, let's continue on with Melissa's email. If you happen to be available on Saturday, March 18th, that would work perfectly. Let's take a look at this expression. We're using the verb happen, but it's followed by an infinitive. If you happen to be available. This means to do or be by chance. So for example, if you happen to see Maria, can you give her a heads up that the annual reviews are, what's our expression? Are just around the corner. This is a very long sentence, but I wanted to use all of our expressions. So let me just put this up here. There's no room. If you happen to see Maria, so happen and then our infinitive. This means that you're not planning to see Maria. It just happens by chance. Okay, so you don't have a meeting scheduled with Maria. But maybe you work in the same building and you frequently see Maria. So this is likely. If you happen to see Maria, can you give her a heads up, advanced information that the annual reviews are just around the corner, that the annual reviews are happening soon? Now, Melissa included this if you happen to be available on Saturday, just as a way of saying, I understand that you might not be available. So if by chance you're available on Saturday, March 18th, that would work perfectly. As I have to make a presentation that afternoon, and then the next morning, early afternoon, I'll be heading back to TO. TO means Toronto. It's just the short way of saying Toronto, where Melissa lives. Now notice the expression she used, head back to. Head back to. This is the more informal, casual way of saying returning to Toronto or going back to. I'll be heading back to Toronto. So you can use this when you're not at your home location, even if you're at the store and you're going home. You can say, I'll be heading back home soon. So you can use that in lots of situations. If you'd rather do an early brunch on the 19th, that might also be a possibility. So she's giving us an alternative if Saturday doesn't work. Then she suggested an alternative, which is brunch on the 19th. Brunch, Americans love brunch, okay? I know some students in other parts of the world, they're not really familiar with brunch, what it is. So brunch, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? These are our three main meals. Brunch is a combination of breakfast and lunch. So brunch, that's why we take the unch from lunch, but we put the B from breakfast, brunch. So it's a combination of breakfast, lunch, food items. And it usually takes place between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's very commonly held on Sundays. So most restaurants will have a brunch menu on Sundays only, and that menu is available from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and you can have breakfast or lunch items, or they combine those items. Does brunch exist where you live? Let me know in the comments. I want to know. Okay, so that was, still on. Fingers crossed. This is when we hope something happens. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So if you're taking your IELTS exam, I would say fingers crossed you pass. I hope you passed. So let me just highlight this. Now, also keep in mind, all the notes I'm taking, you can download the lesson PDF. It will be in the comment section below. So fingers crossed, to say you hope something happens, fingers crossed we'll be able to organize an Ottawa rendezvous. This is a French word, but we commonly use it to say get together. An Ottawa get together. That would be the English version of the word rendezvous. Get together. Okay. Miss you both, Melissa. Aw, so sweet. Now, Harm replied to the email. You reply to an email. So let me just write that. Harm replied to the email first. She was faster than me. And let's see what she said. Hi, Melissa. So nice to hear from you and so excited you're coming to town. When you come to town, this is just a way of saying you're coming to my location. Ottawa is not a town. It's a city. So it doesn't matter if the size of your city is quite small or large. We use it for any size. It's just an expression. Coming to town means coming to the place where you are. Okay. Sunday brunch would work best. Okay, so Harm wants to have Sunday brunch, but also I can make Saturday work too. So Harm prefers Sunday, would work best, work best. I hope you're noticing these expressions, work best, but I can also make Saturday work too. All right, that's from Harm. Now, from me, then I reply, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're coming. So my that's awesome, well, it's explained right here. It's the fact that Melissa is coming. So that's awesome. You could use a different adjective. That's amazing. That's fabulous. That's wonderful. These are some alternatives. I like the word awesome. That's the one I always use. Notice the contraction. That is, that's awesome. So just to express good news, that's awesome. So if you told me you passed your IELTS, that's awesome. I'm so glad you passed your IELTS. I'm so glad you're coming to town. You're coming. I'm actually the opposite of Harm. Uh-oh, difficulty here. I'm being difficult. So what was Harm? Harm wanted to meet for Sunday brunch. She said that would work best. But I'm saying, actually, I'm the opposite. So that means Saturday works best. Saturday works best for me. Okay. I write it right here. I'm the opposite of Harm, LOL, laugh out loud, right? Saturday would be best. Notice in our messages, we commonly use would be best just to express that hypothetical. But I could also say Saturday works best for me. I didn't write it, but you can definitely include that. You can even include it here. Saturday would be best for me. There's no difference in meaning between these two. They both convey the same message. I prefer Saturday, but just grammatically, they're a little bit different. Oh, sorry. Saturday, that should just be Saturday. Works best. So because Saturday is a singular day, I need my S on works, right? If I said those days, that would be plural. Those days work best for me. Okay? So now my verb would be conjugated with those days, which is plural. But I can make Sunday work. Okay, so I'm the opposite of Harm. So because Harm and I don't agree, we don't see eye to eye, that's a good expression, I turned it to Melissa to make the decision. What's best for you, Melissa? Oh, kind of sneaky of me. I put Melissa in the difficult position of having to decide. What's best for you, Melissa? Now, you could also say, this is very common, but you could also say, what works best for you, Melissa? Or I could say, what would be best for you, Melissa? All of these have the exact same meaning. So some nice alternatives for you. Now, what does Melissa say? What do you guys think? Saturday or Sunday brunch? Hi, Jennifer and Harm. Saturday evening, the 18th, would be ideal as I won't have too much time the next morning before my train. Okay, so she will be rushed on Sunday, so it would be difficult for her to have brunch. I believe it leaves around noon. Yeah, that would be difficult because we would have to meet at 9:30, 10 a.m. No, even earlier, because if it leaves at noon, she would have to be at the train station at noon. So she'd probably have to leave the restaurant around 11 a.m. That would not leave a lot of time. Now, notice she said it leaves around noon, even though we're talking about a future day, 3 weeks in the future. Why did she use the present simple? The it is the train, right? So my train leaves around noon, but this is 3 weeks from today. So this is in the future, right? So why did she use the present simple? Because we use the present simple in the future for one very specific situation, and that's timetable events, or you could consider it a scheduled event. So your transportation, your planes, your trains, your boats, major transportation, you have a ticket with a departure time. So even if your trip is next month, you would still say, my flight leaves at 6 a.m. next month, even if it's in the future, because we use the present simple. I'll write that for you. Present simple. Oops, not present time. Present simple for timetable events or scheduled events in the future. Okay, so that's why she said it leaves around noon. She goes on to say, I'm off to Denver. When you're going somewhere, Denver, Colorado is the place where she's going in the United States. I'm off to. This is a great expression. So when you're leaving to go somewhere, you could say, I'm off to the store. See you soon. I'm off to the conference. See you next week. Okay? I'm off to, and then the location where you're going. This is an excellent expression. Now notice the verb to be, because if it is you and your friend or coworker, you would say we are, which I would write as a contraction. We're off to the conference. See you next week. I'm off to Denver on the 21st of March, so that only gives me one day to pack, etc. So pack whatever else she needs to do between trips. If this weren't the case, I would have tried to extend my stay in Ottawa by another day. So she's giving us the reason why she has to leave so early on Sunday, and it's not possible to have brunch on Sunday, basically. No pressure at all, but it would be fun to meet up all together. We commonly put the preposition up with meet when we're getting together with friends. Do you want to meet up tonight? You could also say meet. It's one of those phrasal verbs that are optional and has the same meaning. You want to meet up tonight? Now, I wrote this the way I would write this to a friend because we commonly leave out unnecessary words like auxiliary verbs. Do you want to meet up tonight? Do you want to meet tonight? Okay, they have the exact same meaning. But I would use this with social situations. That being said, Harm, if you can't make it on Saturday, perhaps we can grab a quick coffee on Sunday morning before I take off. Take off is a casual way of saying leave. Now, a lot of students know this one because your flight takes off, right? That is the expression we use. My flight takes off around noon. My flight leaves around noon. And notice this is in the present simple because it's a scheduled event. Grab is a common casual way of saying have. We can have a quick coffee. We can grab a quick coffee. It's a casual way. We commonly use it though with friends or in casual social situations. Whatever works best. And remember, I told you optionally, you can say whatever works best for you, or in this case, because she's talking to Harm and me, she could say you ladies, whatever works best for you, whatever works best for you ladies, to include both of us, but whatever works best for you. I'm so excited to see you both. All right. So what do? Do we get together on Saturday or a Sunday? So this is from Harm. Sounds great. I'm in for Saturday night. So Harm changed her mind and she decided she can meet up on Saturday night. Notice, I'm in for Saturday night. This is a casual way of accepting something. Do you want to go to the movies tomorrow? Sure, I'm in. So it's just a very casual way of accepting a casual social invitation. I'm in. Looking forward to seeing you ladies. Now notice, to and then our verb ing, because to is functioning as a preposition and we use gerund verbs after prepositions. I see a lot of mistakes with this expression, even though it's one of the most common expressions in English, but I see mistakes. Looking forward to going on vacation. I had to think of something that I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to going on vacation. Looking forward to buying a new car, whatever it might be. And then I should point out, because it's not included, it's I'm. So it's to be looking forward to because it's taking place right now. I'm looking forward to buying a new car. So don't forget that gerund verb. So Harm's in for Saturday. And what do I say? Awesome. How about Farouz Cafe in the market? The market is an area in Ottawa. Okay, so this is just an area of the city. It's called the market. Area of the city. So I said awesome. I told you guys I like the word awesome, right? So I used it again. Awesome. How about? I'm using this to suggest. How about Farouz Cafe? So we're meeting for dinner on Saturday night. I'm suggesting a restaurant. It's a Middle Eastern restaurant called Farouz Cafe in the market. And then I shared the menu so they can look at the menu and see if they want that type of food. And then I added, happy to go anywhere though. What does this mean? Happy to go anywhere though. I suggested Farouz Cafe, but I want them to know if Melissa really wanted to go to a different restaurant or Harm really wanted to. That's fine by me. I left out the subject and the verb to be, very common in casual conversation. I'm happy to go anywhere though. We add though at the end of a sentence to suggest there's some kind of contrast. The contrast is, I want to go to Farouz Cafe. That's my choice. But if Harm doesn't, that's okay. So there's that contrast there. When you use a but or however, you can add though at the end and then a little smiley face. Just to let them know I won't be upset if they don't like the food at Farouz. Okay. And then Melissa said, hi ladies, so great that we can all meet up. She could have said meet. The up is optional on the 18th. Farouz sounds awesome. It's been on my list for ages. So for ages, this is a great time reference, and it means for a long time. Now notice the verb tense. What verb tense did Melissa use? It has been, which is the present perfect, because she put it on her list of places she wants to go or try. She put it on her list 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and it's been on her list ever since. So we use the present perfect for an action that starts in the past and continues until now. It's still on her list. That being said, I'm up for whatever. So Melissa is doing the same thing because Harm hasn't told us if she wants Farouz or a different restaurant. So Melissa is also saying, if you don't want to go to Farouz, that's okay with me. I'm up for whatever. To be up for something, this is a very casual expression, to be up for something. This means to be willing to do or try something. Okay? So you might say, I'm up for going to the movies tonight. So a friend might say, oh, do you want to go to the movies? I'm up for it. I'm up for going to the movies. I'm up for it, which means I'm willing to go to the movies. I'm accepting it, basically. I'm up for it. I'm up for that. And then finally, what does Harm say? Works for me. We've used this a lot. Now remember, in this message, we have dropped a lot of subjects and auxiliary verbs. That works for me. I can't wait. Very common to just drop these unnecessary words. That works for me too. Works for me. And she's adding the S here because even though she didn't include the subject is singular. So she's still conjugating her verb correctly even though she didn't include the subject. Works for me too. Can't wait. And then I think I wrote awesome, my favorite word. Awesome. I booked Farouz for 7 p.m. And then that's it. I booked. Book, when you book a reservation, when you book a ticket, it means you make a reservation. You make a reservation or you confirm a scheduled event. Like a scheduled event could be your airfare, for example. I booked my flight. So you confirmed that scheduled event. You purchased your ticket, basically. I booked my flight. I booked Farouz. I made the reservation. Now, you can absolutely use book for restaurants, extremely common, but it is also common to say, I made a reservation at Farouz. If you use make a reservation, you have to use at and then the name of the restaurant. I made a reservation at Farouz. So obviously it's a lot easier to just say book. And this is in the past simple because it's a completed action. I booked Farouz for 7. I booked my flight. So this is still in the future at the time I'm recording this. I am very excited to see my friends and go to Farouz Cafe. And I hope you learned a lot of natural vocabulary to help you schedule your next visit with your friends. If you want to learn more natural vocabulary, I recommend this lesson next. And make sure you get your free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can get it from my website right here. So get started with your next lesson right now.